episode number. But today, yeah, it's Friday, so that means it's Fishing Friday with Piccolo today. So after this 30 minutes in just chatting, I'll be switching over to Kakarot and doing fishing probably for ないuntil September or that's why I started using a lot of and the reason I went from Goku to Piccolo and then to Gohan is because Gohan is actually trained by Piccolo. Yeah, when Goku died, Piccolo's plan was actually to train Gohan as his disciple and have him join the Demon Clan. That didn't work out. He ended up, dying in the battle against the Saiyans. But it was actually a pretty smart plan. And Gohan actually ended up having more of an effect on Piccolo. But he's still a Saiyan. And I think today, there's a little bit more time. See, tomorrow is Saturday, which means Villainous Saturday. And I'm not about to go through Villainous Saturday with Tien and John. Maybe next week. Gohan in here. And I want to try this again. So yeah, these first three, as it says right in the, and you have to read the details, but it'll specifically tell you that these ones are effective when used by a support character, which is where I'm gonna put Goku. Otherwise, I wouldn't put these on. Perfect Harmony. Since all three of your characters attack during Z combos, it's good to have this on your support characters as well. And then he's level 300, so that's gonna be pretty much everybody. And Guard Break, just because he's gonna attack, you know, somebody, whether I'm there or not. So, you know, if I manage to that'll affect the Ki Blast too. And you notice one thing, I do a lot of Ki Blasting. One, when there's distance between me and the enemy, it just cuts down on a lot of that punching the air, and you know, you miss a lot. But also, if your support characters aren't doing anything, I think they just sort of teleport right next to you, and then participate in the Ki Blasts with you, which is a good way to keep track of where they are. Because the only other way is to use this and just listen for them. And with, you know, horde battles, it's easy for them to get lost, but then I think this reduces the amount of time that they can do those support actions. Although I'm not sure if it matters for support characters or not, but I do want Auto Kaioken, just because it's gonna be I'm gonna put Auto Super Saiyan on for Gohan. And I got pretty much the same melee attacks for him. Excuse me. But yeah, so if you see these two characters doing Kamehameha or Masenko, Gohan will do Masenko, Goku will do Kamehameha. That every time you see that in the following battles here, that'll be those support characters doing it on their own. Because as you can see right next to the names of the attacks, there's a little icon of a fist. That means they're melee attacks. And one of them is, and they're pretty much the same, that even though they have different names. But yeah, Body Impact and Body Blow are both Gut Punch, and Meteor Sledge and Meteor Slash are both a Double Fist Hammer. And I want the similar attacks for both the support characters so I can use them as a combo, since there won't be any follow-ups. Well, I can't use follow-ups for those characters, but Piccolo does have follow-ups actually. And so I'm thinking of, because Piccolo, it takes the longest to attack. I mean, out of all the characters, he is the Namekian one, and you know, it's he relies on his ability to heal a lot, and usually he'll often use it as a trick to get his opponents off guard. And so it works really good with probably works better with the Goku and Gohan as support characters, because they are, you know, Goku especially is, you know, full-blooded Saiyan, and he will attack all on his own. And he's going to be doing a lot of damage with that Kaioken and Unbridled Power. See, I should be using that because I want to get past that super level with Piccolo, because Piccolo is Namekian and can't go Super Saiyan, although according to canon he is supposed to have comparable power to Super Saiyan. He's basically a Super Namekian. That's how they put it in the show. And I just I want to look at his Namekian fusion and see exactly, because I know it is not as big a power boost as this going Super Saiyan. I think it's a 40, if I'm not mistaken, a 40% power boost. But here, let me look at these while I got Piccolo here. These are Piccolo's moves. Well, Light Grenade is. Finisher Buster is Trunks' move. Light Grenade is Piccolo's. So, well, Trunks is for later. And then these two as well. A Special Beam Cannon. Pretty much my favorite move in the game, except Kamehameha, obviously. There's never actually been a beam clash of Kamehameha versus Special Beam Cannon, but Special Beam Cannon, and this is the reason why I used Tien and Chiaotzu, because they're from the Crane School and they use the Dodon Ray, which, according to Master Roshi, is a fundamentally more powerful technique than the Kamehameha. So you will want to avoid beam clashing that if you get the chance, I suppose. But that's with one finger. Piccolo uses at least two fingers, and he has this special beam cannon, which seems functionally to be the best of both. You get that beam through the middle, and then there's that spiral that goes around it. By far the coolest looking beam in the whole, out of all this stuff. And nobody else has a spiral thing that goes, I don't know how he does that, but I do know it takes a lot of ki. And oh wow, it says right there it can pierce a great ape's armor. That's interesting that it says that. That never happened once, but apparently it could. It does have that penetrating quality of the screw, which is one of the 5 basic machines, and that's what a screw does. Is the explosive wave. Oh good, it does mention that. I mentioned that yesterday, and you can see the stars there mean I haven't seen this yet. There, Dodon. See. Yep. Oh. Wow, so he actually did die for a second when that happened. Whew. It even talks about the telekinesis, which I used a lot. But yeah, so for that reason, I think was maybe a mistake using these two characters with Piccolo. Might try it again. Might try it again with Trunks later, because Trunks does not have any straightforward beam attacks. And I want to try that off the radar move with or not move, but that off the radar know-how, which I skipped yesterday. But I think with Trunks, because Trunks, remember, well, not remember because it hasn't happened yet in the game, but when the DLC comes out, you'll see Trunks fights, he was trained by Gohan and trained against the androids, right? So a lot of guerrilla tactics, a lot of staying out of their range, a lot of trying to split them up, to disorient them. The thing about Android 17 and 18 that people tend to forget, they have an unlimited supply of power. And it's not ki, because Dr. Gero never really figured out how to use or make ki or whatever. He absorbs it. Dr. Gero is an android, and his buddy, they absorb ki through their palms, but Android 17 and 18 don't. They just never run out of energy. So yeah, So you pretty much have to overpower them, and any move that sends them reeling, you'll notice Trunks' A button finisher is actually a kick that automatically sends opponents reeling, which is pretty useful if you have to split up two unstoppable Terminator-style androids. Just food for thought. Yeah, where have I not gone? Right here in World it says 4 more locations. Maybe that's... Oh, I get it. You unlock them. I gotta find that card. That's how you unlock them. So, oh no, that's the reward. I thought it said requires. So what is it? So how do you... Updates. Oh, that's right. You unlock this stuff by going to Master Roshi. Okay, yeah, never mind. So, it wasn't bad practice using those two, but Piccolo trains with Goku and Gohan a lot. You know, whenever they know there's a big battle coming up, they will train together all the time. Okay, that's what I'm gonna go to there. Sidetracked for a second. Yeah, the support. And the support only characters do have more of these. Some of them have 2 of those. Oh no. Sorry, my computer wants to restart. That's gonna be annoying later. Yeah, I'm gonna put Unbridled Power on. I don't think your support characters can actually die. It hasn't happened yet for me. To a stunned enemy, I'm gonna add that. Super Saiyan, so you'll be able to tell from their hair because they dress the same, and it helps me keep track of them. Let's see, I need anything else. Probably won't get very many stuns in horde battles, but yeah, let's use this. So like Goku and Gohan are pretty much the same. And I'll probably keep this combo for Villainous Saturday. I've already done one Villainous Saturday with Piccolo, and I used Gohan and Trunks that time. This time I'm gonna use Gohan and Goku. And let's just look at this tag pellet. So I found the ultimate rapid fire key wave to be much more effective in horde battles than the Hellzone grenade. That move does take a long time. See, Piccolo has a lot of moves that take a long time. But I like that Hellzone grenade in 1v1s. I used that against Banyu a long time ago, and that was the first time I beat Banyu with Piccolo. Because Banyu has a lot of moves similar to that, where she'll trigger an event and then do a big attack right afterwards. But that doesn't happen in Horde Battle, so I don't need the Hellzone Grenade. It actually takes about the same amount of time anyway, because using the ultimate Rapid Fire Key Wave, you have to lock onto opponents. And the only way to shorten the amount of time it takes to lock onto the opponents is when there's fewer opponents to lock onto. So when there's only one opponent, you don't lose any time using either one of these techniques. You know, it might be better to just use this. Because I was thinking the Super Guided Light Grenade effectively does the same thing as the ultimate Super Explosive Wave when in Surge mode. Because in Surge mode, any of these attacks, except for the Demon Flash Strike, which is melee, but any of these three key attacks will, while in Surge mode, will teleport you right to the next targeted enemy. So they'll be at point blank range either way. And since I already had, obviously, the Limit Breaker Special Beam Cannon, because for all of the reasons I just told you about it being super effective. Also a linear style beam attack, you know, creates a line, and you can attack opponents, you know, on the other side of that. And although you don't really get to line up your shots while you're doing that in Surge mode. So in Surge mode, these explosive bomb style attacks that attack in all directions actually help more. But in Horde battles, there's so many enemies and they can be so spread so far apart that you might only get one kill every time you actually use one of these attacks. So this time I'm going to go with both of these on the same attack palette, because one thing I remember from the end of the Horde battles yesterday was trying to switch between Special Beam Cannon and Explosive Wave, because there is a little bit of time while the game is targeting the next closest opponent or whoever. And if I use a Special Beam Cannon, Piccolo won't teleport right away, but he will target that character. And at level 200, sometimes the characters survive, sometimes they don't, but usually there's another enemy close by, and then since it's on screen and closer to the center of the screen as possible, you'll target that character faster. It's just easier on the computer to know where you're gonna go next, because that's the thing about teleporting, is you have to tell the computer where you're gonna go before you teleport, otherwise it doesn't work. So in Surge mode, one of the passive effects that's active while you're in Surge mode is you can teleport to your targeted opponent and attack at point blank range, which is great for Piccolo because he's got this ultimate super explosive wave, which is just literally him self-destructing without the actual part where he dies. But the super guided light grenade, like it says, it homes in on opponents. So I think I'll try switching between these two and not using the special beam cannon, which does take a little bit more time, and using the Goku and Gohan combo for melee attacks. Hopefully it'll make it easier for me to time these demon flash strikes. Because I have a demon flash strike and a super demon flash strike. roughly the same. Yeah, the damage is enhanced. I don't think there's any difference in the number of moves they have. Which is good, because that means you only need one on your palette. And I'll probably talk about that more when I switch to Trunks, because with Trunks it does matter. But I think that's gonna do it. Let's see. Anything, yeah. See, I ought to be playing with unbridled power, so I can practice dodging. See, I could put that instead of here. See, the main reason I'm not getting S's, I think, is just because I'm not killing the enemies fast enough. And yeah, so that's why the attack palette change and the support character change. And that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna actually, does it say here? There it is, 20%. So it's, yeah, at this level, which is level 3, it's a 40% damage dump. So it's actually less than Super Saiyan or Kaioken. So and the other two are gonna be in their forms for the, yeah, they're gonna be in Kaioken and Super Saiyan, which is a 50% power boost either way. They're gonna be doing that for the whole duration of the battle. So I'm gonna keep this all the same. Do in the next 2 hours is, if my computer doesn't crash, it probably won't, I'm going to try and clear all of these icons on the map. Most of them will disappear, like these purple ones and these white ones will disappear after I collect that stuff or blow them up. But these fishing things, I'm going to hit every one of those today. And after I'm done with this map, I'll either go to another map or, well, I'll try to work in some, well, I don't think I'll get to the horde battles today, but I do need to practice with this. So there'll probably be some guys that want to fight.
This ought to prove useful.